Hey everybody, I'm Garrett Hartle, this is Reach Out Reptiles, and welcome this week for a special episode coming to you from the Pittsburgh Zoo and PPG Aquarium to interview the awesome, talented, hard-working Hadley Farabee. Yep, that's what we're here to do. Alright, so we're here with Hadley Farabee, and Hadley is a wildlife biologist, which is pretty cool. She's actually working on some kind of secret projects with me for the Reach Out Reptiles stuff, which has been really exciting, but she's just got an awesome story, so I wanted to introduce her to you guys and let you get to know somebody that's, I feel, up and coming kind of in that industry. So why don't we start with, like, where would you love to take this at some point?
So I'd like to continue my work as an education specialist in a zoo, but just work my way up the ladder, and hopefully my ideal position would be like 50-50 animal husbandry and education work.
You actually enjoy working with people and animals.
Yeah, so it's hard always to find a job that splits them. So
it's hard to find a person that wants both, I think. Yeah. Some people are like, oh, I love animals, I hate people, though.
I've done, like, my jobs in the past, I've done a little bit of both, and I've found things that I like and dislike between them, but I like them enough that I would want to combine them. It's hard to pick one or the other. When I'm working with people, I miss the animals, and I'm working with animals, and I miss the people.
Yeah.
So my ideal position in the future would combine them both and work my way up the ladder to be like a pet education specialist or education animal care leader or something.
Okay, cool. Well, you talked about in the past you've done both. So run me through, like, you know, what is it that you have done, you know, and maybe what are the steps to get there? By the way, guys, we're here at the Pittsburgh Zoo in the little deer area. So this deer is notorious for coming up and licking me. So if you see that happen,
she's interested.
It's okay. It's just normal. Yeah, she's like, he's here. I'm gonna go lick him. I don't know if it tastes like snakes or something. Do deer like that? I don't know.
Salty though. Go do it.
That's probably
sweat, really.
Yeah, big sweaty nasty guy. Let's go lick him. What's up, baby? She's coming over right now. Hi. You think I'll do it? Okay, so yeah. So what have you? Well, you're kind of just getting your start. You graduated when?
Last spring. So.
And what was the degree that you got?
There we go. He wasn't lying.
I told you she loves me.
So I majored in wildlife and fisheries resources and had a minor in conservation ecology.
No, it's okay. Keep going. Don't mind us.
So that was a year ago, but in college, I actually started as an interior design major, believe it or not. That's something else that I like. I just love houses and decorating and making things look nice. But I knew I always wanted to work with animals, but going into college...
We should really get a room. Hi, baby.
Your fan favorite.
It's giving me a new hairdo.
Going into college, I just didn't know what exactly I wanted to do with animals. I didn't want to be a vet because I don't really like the medical side of it as much.
She's coming for you.
Thank you. I guess I need it fixed too.
Oh, she's eating. She's eating your hair.
I'm probably eating some hairspray.
This is gonna be the best interview ever.
So, starting my experience in college, I volunteered at the Avian Conservation Center of Appalachia. So shout out to them. They're on Facebook too. So there I took care of injured and sick birds from the wild people would find, and we got to rehab them, and if they weren't releasable, we would keep them as an education animal, so we'd be able to go and teach classes and go like community programs with them. And then just in my classes in general.
Alright baby, that's enough. Come on, we'll go play with you later. We'll go play with you later. All right, in your classes.
In my classes, we got a lot of hands-on experience out in the field. A lot of them were more wildlife management focused, but we got to go out and like do electroshocking with fish and mist netting birds. We had a wildlife camp where we trapped 2 black bears, and
wow.
personally we got to sedate them and pull a milk tooth, take like skin samples and blood samples, and like weigh them and everything. So we actually got to do that like completely ourselves with, of course, a conservation officer nearby in case anything went wrong.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
So we got a lot of hands-on things like that. So I think WVU in that setting was like one of the best places I could have gone. You're right in the middle of all that nature.
Hands-on with nature is just the best. There's nothing that feels quite that good.
Very hands-on.
Sometimes face on.
Actually, we'll back up. Because while I was still in college, I had an internship here at the Pittsburgh Zoo with the Education department. I had an animal ambassador internship where I worked specifically with our animals in the education group, so the one that you don't see on exhibit here, but most of that was husbandry, so I took care of them and helped train some of them. I trained a chicken with a clicker, cool. How to like walk in a path. Like, chickens are actually pretty smart. Right after I graduated, they gave me a position here as an overnight teacher, so the sleepovers that they have at the zoo with like the Boy Scouts and everything.
Oh, cool.
I would work with them and got paid to sleep. So that was nice too. But yeah. And then while I was doing that, I also got a zoo educator position at the Ogilvy Zoo down in Wheeling. Pretty similar to the positions I had in the past, where we would just work with the education animals and take them like to schools and the nursing homes, or do programs at the zoo to let people actually meet the animals and teach them about them.
It sounds like you just jumped on things as they became available.
Mm-hmm.
Just taking advantage of whatever opportunity can hide.
And that's kind of how it has to go, because there's not always a ton of openings in zoo-like settings. Because there's so many people that want to do it. So if you got to sweep
or just take out the trash or whatever, get your foot in the door, basically,
and that's like my internship. Definitely, like, if you want to work in a zoo, you pretty much need to have an internship there first, which usually they're not paid in a zoo, so that's not the fun part, but that's how you get yourself in once you have the internship, and as long as you do well, they'll normally have you right back.
You know, the funny thing is how I originally met Hadley was you had a position, I think you were like the animal care manager at a PetSmart. I just actually noticed her work ethic, which I was really impressed by, because these days it seems like nobody has one. So I was really impressed by that, and obviously even just talking about goldfish and crickets, I think you were handling a couple different customers at once. I could see, you know, the knowledge and experience that you had. And I think I asked you, like, hey, how do you like working here?
Yeah, I was like, well, I still do work there. It's not my ideal position, but...
Well, but that's actually my point, because that's exactly the way I got to where I am. It's just, you go do something. Do something. You know what I mean? And if you're not too prideful to learn a new skill, or, you know, do a job that maybe other people are like, well, that's not good enough for me or something. But you're actually climbing up and finding opportunities and things like that. Whereas other people that are sitting around trying to break into the top level of whatever their dream is, now you're blowing spit on me. Those people aren't doing anything.
Yeah, it doesn't really work that way, especially in this industry.
You have to get in somewhere. It's such an in-demand thing. Would you say that it's a lot about who you know?
Definitely, yeah.
Compared to what you know, with so many people being educated.
Yeah, it's more like, I mean, they tell you this like every day in college. It's all about not your grades, but what experience do you have, and how have you met people through that, rather than just, you know, your skills.
Well, and here's the thing too, guys. I mean, having a good work ethic and being able to just do whatever to get yourself out there is probably the #1 way to just stand out in a crowd these days, because like I said, it's such a rare quality, such a rare trait to have anymore, is just being willing to get your hands dirty and help people however they need help. Be the best one there, you know, and let people notice that kind of thing. I notice it myself. And then, well, why don't you want to talk a little bit about the project that we have going on with Reach Out Reptiles? So this is kind of cool, and you're moving now.
Yes.
So you have to leave your job at the Pittsburgh Zoo and some of these other things, but you're able to still work with me, even remotely.
2,000 miles away.
Yeah. So another kind of cool opportunity just to allow you to keep doing what it is that you're passionate about. But why don't you share with us a little bit about that project?
After I met Garrett at PetSmart, he gave me his business card and was like, I might have something, you know, something for you to do, so just let me know. And I thought that was going to be a great opportunity, so I did talk to you, and he gave me a couple of different options. And one of them was that he needs somebody to write papers about his Superdwarfs and breeding, and just, you know, all kind of papers in general, from care guides to small little snippets of just facts and information, because there's not a vast supply of them out there. We started out with some care guides, some general things like that, and now we're working more into specific things like breeding. So you will find my work there, of course with the help of his editing and some other masterminds.
Pretty exciting stuff, guys. I mean, you guys may know, when you go to research Superdwarfs in particular, there's just not a lot of information available right now. And so I've been thinking about how to try to compile some of that stuff. So being able to team up with Hadley and then some other people, some graphics designers and some marketing people, with some of the knowledge that I've experienced over the years, coupled with your research on the dwarves and Superdwarfs, the locality stuff. We're trying to pool this stuff together and make available for download and purchase on the Reach Out Reptiles website. So it's pretty cool, and it's a way that I can share information with you guys that I think is just much needed information, but also keep people like Hadley pursuing her dream and being able to work in the area that, you know, that she's able to. So by arranging this, it's actually kind of creating new opportunities, jobs, and experience. Getting
my name out there, and like even through him, I've met some other people that deal with reptiles, like Tom Kelly. I've gotten to work with him, do his party snakes, which were very fun. So, and that's actually something I might start in the future myself, depending on just where I end up and what jobs I have around me. I've always considered kind of doing something like that on my own, having my own like animal educational entertainment.
Get to the point where you can make your own opportunities. Or entrepreneurial.
So just that one
you guys like my
slight
hair?
Second in PetSmart kind of
Oh, this is
changed
gross.
a lot.
This is so much.
I feel like deer's mouths are pretty clean.
Oh, I don't know. This one, who knows who she's been licking before me? That's the thing. Not the deer, it's where she's been.
But even, you know, when you're not in college, just in high school, you can even start working. They have a lot of zoos, different opportunities for like teenagers to volunteer, you know, just volunteering at anything you can, even just your local animal shelters. Anything that is remotely related kind of helps, you know, just as young as you can start.
Yeah, gain the experience, not just on paper, but also, you know, for your knowledge, because that was the thing that stuck out to me when I first met Hadley at the pet store was, wow, this girl is selling me crickets and goldfish, but she has this mass wealth of knowledge. There's got to be a way to use that, utilize that better, you know. So I was glad to be able to find that. Oh, don't throw up on me now.
I live on a deer farm. My family raises deers, and I've never heard that noise from a deer before, so I can't tell you what that means.
Oh, whatever it means, we're gonna get it here on camera and make sure that it's a good moment. Oh, thanks.
So far as zoo work, there's never a day you come home.
You grew up on a deer farm?
I do, yeah.
Do you think that's where you got your...
Actually, yeah, so I'm just always interested in raising deer, just to raise them and see how big you can get them and different like breeding options and everything. You just began on that after getting like a license and everything, and I've always had a big part in that, like especially when we had fawns away from their mothers, we'd have to bottle feed them, and like
that's fun.
The cutest thing. So you really got to bond with them, and like when I like this is since I was really young, and I've like sat on the back of like our bigger bucks before. We've had them. We have pictures of them in our kitchen by the refrigerator. Like,
oh wow!
So that, I mean, that definitely really started.
Okay, so here's your icebreaker question. Okay. You grew up with a father who's selectively breeding deer.
Yes.
Now you're working with me. I selectively breed snakes. If you had to choose an animal, any animal, and I came to you and I said, Hadley, I'm going to fully fund your selective breeding project just for your own curiosity's sake, with all the species that you've worked with and all that kind of stuff, what animal would you work with?
I think it seems like a weird answer, but possibly rats.
Rats?
Yes. Even though, you know, as a reptile lover too, I understand circle of life and everything, but I had rats in the past, and just for such a small like animal that a lot of people are disgusted by, they are so intelligent and they
absolutely
have like such a personality to them, and like they can be trained to do all these crazy things. So just to be able to, you know, start out training them and just breed them as you go, you can get like these crazy intelligent rats that will, you know, do tricks, come towards their name, like be able to even, I don't know, be like little guide dogs for people possibly, like in a sense. Like,
that's a crazy idea. Is that something you've heard of before? A rat as a guide dog?
I haven't heard of that.
Because that's actually a great idea.
But I mean, just from me having them in the past, there'd be so many things that they would like be able to pick up on, like, you know, what I was doing, and like they do take care of you. They form a bond with you. I know, like if you have earrings in, something sticking off your body like that, they kind of see as a form of like dirt, like it shouldn't be there, so they'll try to remove it for you.
Wow.
And unfortunately, they also think that of eyelashes too. But that was just a phase for them. But I think, you know, just with how intelligent they are and how friendly they can be, you could really breed them to be like this like ideal pet for people, or just being helpful.
Wow. What's that? No, I think it's hilarious actually. Okay. I don't want to make her sick.
Yeah, I know.
Well, don't get sick.
Here, you want to leave? You love leaves.
Oh, she likes hair more.
This is my deer. She comes see me every time. Okay. You can have her if you want her, but I mean, she's okay.
I don't know.
I kind of like the attention.
Chloe.
Her name's Chloe?
Yeah.
Okay. And then stay tuned for future social media. What are you thinking? YouTube?
Maybe not so much YouTube, like more pictures and videos, I would think.
Okay.
Like a Facebook, or like, I don't know which one really gets around the most, but probably like a Facebook or Instagram type of deal.
All right, so you guys will have to hang on and watch out for Hadley Farabee. Great things to come. Well, thank you so much for being on. It's a pleasure as always. Really looking forward to it. If you guys want to start seeing some of this educational material that she's producing for us at Reach Out Reptiles, stay tuned. I'll make a big announcement when they're ready to go up. And if you'd like to support her and everything that she's doing, purchasing those things are a great way to go, because, you know, we kind of have an arrangement that I'll fund it to get started, and then once it gets rolling, the more successful it is, the more I can just keep throwing stuff her way, so that she can continue doing the research and the wildlife biology stuff, learning about superdwarfs and getting into some of this reptile. I think the reptile community, I'm sure you guys agree, need people like Hadley Farabee in there. So, you know, jump on there and show her some support in that way. That would be awesome. But yeah, thanks again, and good luck with the move and everything.
Thank you.
I'm sure we'll be in touch. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, take care, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I really hope Chloe the deer over there doesn't end up with a bellyache, but I don't know. Well, I don't know about you guys, but that episode was an absolute blast, and not just because of Chloe the deer. Make sure you guys hit up Hadley's new Instagram and shoot her a follower. I'm sure that we're gonna see a lot of great things to come from her there, as well as with some of this written stuff that she's able to use that wildlife biology degree for right here at Reach Out Reptiles. Before we go, I wanted to give a quick shout out. Now this is pretty cool. So I have a customer named Jeremy Gore that actually bought some a dwarf retic from me, and he paid for my daughter Riley's little service, and then he asked for a shipping address just to send a little thank you in the mail. So the shout out sticker is for Riley Hartle. He made this himself, and for those of you guys that are following, it's got her name on there, and it's no squaggle, which obviously is Riley's coined term for when the retics are just trying to fly midair. So pretty cute, and it says right here on the bottom, serpentine socialization. So that's pretty awesome. Thank you very much, Jeremy. Even though it's not a sticker for his company, you know he's getting a shout out for that one. Well, I hope you guys have a great week, and we will see you right back here Friday for your free tip. Take care. Okay, hey guys, we got Nate here from the Pittsburgh Zoo. You volunteering today?
Yes.
And you're our leopard gecko expert of the day?
That's right.
Well, thanks, dude. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Take it easy. Keep up the good work.